During the 1960s, Trip O'Donnell played the role of Wonderkind on the Golf Association of Philadelphia circuit. The blossoming Brookside Country Club belter earned medalist honors in his first Gap event, the 1960 Junior Boys Championship at St. David's Golf Club. O'Donnell lost in the quarterfinals that year to a soon-to-be friend, golf contemporary, and Philadelphia Lynx legend who he didn't know at the time.
Finished the round, and somebody said, well, Jay Siegel had a bad day today. He shot 77, and he had won the state championship, PIA state championship, so I had no idea who Jay was. Got to the quarterfinals, and I met Jay. I played Jay, and he had me 5 down after 10 holes, so I learned who Jay Siegel was, but I got it back and only lost 2-1. It gave me confidence, but Jay was so much better than everybody else that, in a way, you didn't realize how good you were. And until I got to college and started playing in a college level, comparing myself to other human beings, he also pushed you. He made you work harder.
In 1961, O'Donnell charged to the Junior Boys final, but fell to another contemporary and friend in Stephen Probst, 4-3, at Plymouth Country Club.
I can't remember the holes, but on one of the, I think it may have been the 6th or the 7th, I'm trying to remember the sequence. Par 4, I hit in a fairway trap and holed out from the fairway trap for an eagle. And the next hole's a par 3, and Steve hit it about 2 inches from the cup, so he makes birdie. And then the next hole, he eagles as a par 5. So we go eagle, birdie, eagle. This is junior golf, and we, that was a fun streak.
O'Donnell and Probst also squared off in the Pennsylvania Golf Association's Junior Championship a year later at Lancaster Country Club, with the latter claiming victory in 19 holes. But O'Donnell finally had his day. Quite a few days, actually, in 1963. He won the Gap Junior Boys Championship on his home course by defeating Michael Rowland, 4-3. O'Donnell, a Duke University graduate, upended incoming Blue Devil Tom Hackett, 3-2, to seize the state junior at Hershey Country Club.
That was the year that everything I played in I won, which I didn't realize until I went back and looked at the scrapbooks, and because you're just playing and you don't keep track of it. No matter how I hit the ball, I knew I could still score, and I think that's part of the reason I did so well consistently.
Consider 1966 another standout year for O'Donnell. He reached the Gap Amateur Championship final at St. David's, where he faced off against Chicago transplant and former pro Jim King. Standing 5 down with 9 to play, O'Donnell mounted a late comeback, but lost on the 18th hole, 2 up.
And Jim King was a really good player, and he was an ex-boxer, so he looked like he should be. He lifted weights. He was a real physical guy, and he was so physical. It was hard to see how he swung the golf club, but he could play.
In the 1966 Pennsylvania Amateur at Lancaster, O'Donnell trailed King by 4 strokes, entering the final 2 rounds. A ruling coming in rattled the Pottstown, Pennsylvania native, who ultimately finished as runner-up.
We were on the 11th hole at Lancaster. Jay hit, and I think I was 1 or 2 strokes up on Jay at that point. Jay hit his ball into the right rough and near a tree and asked for a ruling. And we had to wait about 20 minutes until a Pennsylvania Amateur or Pennsylvania State official came out to give a ruling. He gave a ruling, and we continued to play. We had no idea what Jim King was doing behind us. And the official was in a golf cart and started following us and said, you guys are behind the group in front of you, and I'm going to assess you 2 strokes if you don't speed up your play. Well, we waited for him for 20 minutes. And Jay continued. Jay never changed his pace of play for anybody. So I started getting concerned, and I 3-putted 3 of the last 6 holes coming in. And I think it was on the 17th hole we had heard that Jim King had fallen apart on the front 9. So it turned out that Jay and I were playing for the championship, and I lost to Jay by 1 stroke that summer at Lancaster.
With his game sharp and the U.S. Amateur headed to Marion Golf Club that year, O'Donnell decided to audition. He advanced through a qualifier at Philadelphia Cricket Club and Sunnybrook Golf Club. In the championship proper, O'Donnell stood in the mix to make the cut before he arrived at the 14th tee.
So I'm 1 over par after 13, feeling pretty good. And the space between 13 and 14 is where the crowd is, and my parents were there and friends. So I slowed up and talked to people and realized I was, hold things up. So I rushed to the 14th tee and snap hooked a drive out of bounds. And then on 15, I hit a good drive, but 15 with a dog leg, I just hit it right through the fairway, hit it out of bounds, and then so I missed the cut at Marion by 1 stroke.
Although his game seemed primed for a pro career, O'Donnell decided to continue his education and attended the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. In 1970, he embarked on an invaluable business opportunity. You see, Arnold Palmer needed someone to represent his newfound golf course design company in its New York City office. O'Donnell became that somebody.
I got involved in all his businesses, and what was interesting, though, is I'm in IMG's office. So Mark McCormick had 30 golfers. He had Jackie Stewart, race car drivers. He had Rod Laver. He had Gene Shrimpton, who was a model, so he was really into a lot of things. So there was this steady stream of celebrities coming through our office all the time. What was interesting is the reason Arnold wanted somebody to work in New York is so he would know what was going on, because everybody worked for Mark. And that was an interesting position for a 25-year-old to be in.
In 1973, O'Donnell accompanied real estate developer Peter Rummel to Florida and founded the resort at Amelia Island Golf Club. He turned pro soon thereafter to manage the facility's golf operations. In 1977, O'Donnell regained his amateur status and relocated to Chicago for a position with Wilson Sporting Goods. Business and family, however, took priority over competitive golf. O'Donnell returned to the Philadelphia area in 1979 to work for a plastics company. Today, he is involved in the hospital software business. O'Donnell is a member at Aronimink and Pine Valley and plays golf for fun these days. For GAP TV, Tony Regino.